From Studio B, this is WGALA Brainbusters. Now, here's your host, Rich Rosen.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome once again to Studio B and WGALA Brainbusters. If you tuned into our last episode, you would have witnessed a brilliant display of intellect between Waynesboro and Elizabethtown. Now, we're expecting the same thing today because these two teams have been here twice. This is their third appearance on our show. One team will seize the chance to advance to round 4, which is the semifinals, securing a minimum of at least $1,000. So, once again, every question, every point is important, beginning now with today's opening round. We have 10-point questions to start us out, and as I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, you know how to play, you know how to win. Let's have a good time beginning now with this 10-point question. It has 4 railroads, 2 utilities, 22 properties, free parking. Alex.
Monopoly.
Monopoly is the best-selling board game of all time. The President of the United States is limited to 2 terms. How many terms can a vice president serve? Well, we stumped you on unlimited. There is no limit. This South American country has 2 capitals, Sucre and
Bolivia.
Bolivia and La Paz. The country is between Peru and Brazil. Natalie is correct with Bolivia. After being expelled from Yale in 1809, he became a gentleman farmer, then a novelist, who had his first literary success with The Pilot and The Pioneers, and eventually later wrote The Last of the Mohicans. We stumped you on James Fenimore Cooper. Justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Who wrote this in a famous letter from jail? Bo.
Martin Luther King Jr.
He's the one, and of course it was Letter from Birmingham Jail. She's the best-selling author of all time. Since 1920, her 95 books have sold more than 1 billion copies. Who wrote Murder on the Links, Murder... Alex.
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie is the best-selling author. You are correct. A line joining a planet to the sun sweeps out equal areas and equal times. Whose second law of planetary motion is this? Hayden.
Kepler?
He's the one, yes. In 1984, Ross Perot bought a copy of this 13th century document for more than £1 million and took it back to Texas. It's now on display at the National Archives. What document was signed by King John in 1215, Natalie?
The Magna Carta.
The Magna Carta is correct. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. What is 2 to the 0 power? Ryan.
1.
1. Any number to the 0 power is equal to 1. Built about 280 BC, it was more than 100 feet high. What was the statue of Apollo? Alex. Oh, sorry, I'm going to complete the question for Donegal. What is the statue of Apollo, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world?
Colossus of Rhodes?
You are correct for another 10 points. Today, presidents build presidential libraries, but from Washington to Coolidge, most presidents donated their papers to this library, created in 1800. Ryan?
Library of Congress?
You are correct. The Paris Fashion Show Week in 2023, attendees traded tips on how to avoid catching them, like storing luggage in the bathtub. Alex?
Bedbugs.
Bedbugs is the menace, yes. It buys 1/4 of all U.S. exports, more than Japan and Mexico combined, and sells 80% of its exports to the United States. What country is it, Alex?
China.
No, sorry. Donegal. We stumped you on Canada. His poems include Cool Tombs, Prairie, and Chicago Poet. Who was this people's poet? And that's Carl Sandburg. Some of you may be familiar with the first commandment, but according to the book of Genesis, what was God's first command? Natalie.
Let there be light.
You are correct. Good for you. In 1999, Greenville, Tennessee celebrated the 190th birthday of this president, although they had to cover the plaque calling him the only president to be impeached. Who was he? Natalie again.
Andrew Johnson.
He's the one. Correct again. Eugene Gant leaves his bickering family and his small hometown to attend the State University. That was Thomas Wolfe's life and the plot of his first novel. What did he call it? We stumped you on Look Homeward Angel. The largest lake in Central Europe is shared by France and Switzerland and shares its name with one of Switzerland's largest cities. What lake is it, Ethan?
Lake Geneva?
Correct. He once said, "I'd rather be right than president." He was right. He was never president. What Kentucky senator lost the elections? Alex.
Clay.
Henry Clay lost the elections of 1824, 1832, and 1844. And Alex, on that correct answer, that sound takes us to the end of the round, to our first break. We have a great game going, 50-90, but we have a lot more questions and answers to feed these students. So please stick around when the one-on-one rapid fire and team lightning rounds coming up right after this.
WGAL8 Brainbusters will return after this. The final 4 teams in the WGAL8 Brainbusters tournament will win cash grants. The 3rd and 4th place teams will receive $1,000 each. The 2nd place team will receive $3,000. And the WGAL8 Brainbusters champions will receive $5,000 in grant money. Now, here's Rich with our coaches and alternates.
Well, hello, everybody. We're having a great time here at Studio B, and we hope you are enjoying yourselves as well. But before we get back into the action of the game, let's meet some people behind the scenes, our coaches and alternates. So first, this is Mrs. Megan Snyder, English. We heard you're a new mother last time. Great to have you back. But now getting ready has got to be a huge routine to get ready for school. In high school, is you start early.
Yes.
So how do you get jazzed up in the morning? What do you do?
Sure. I'm a big fan of the New York Times games. So my students and I actually, during homeroom, we play the New York Times Connections and the mini crossword every morning to get us started.
I get it. Now, do you drink coffee?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And kids are drinking coffee more and more. I'm finding more and more high school
Sometimes they
students.
even bring you coffee.
Miss Adrienne Williams teaches history and the co-coach. Nice to have you here. And we all have dream vacations, and I'm sure you have many, but what's one that stands out?
I would love to go to the islands of Greece, so like Santorini, Mykonos, places like that.
Do you
Just
like
travel around.
Oh, beautiful. Do you like the sun and you like
I do,
beaches?
yep.
And good food. There's
Of course,
no question.
yep.
They have fantastic
Yep.
food. Well, I hope you get to go there
Thank
one
you.
day. Julia Brixis, she is a junior, the first time here, and you're today's alternate, and it's nice to have you here. And I know you're very busy with studying and doing your homework all the time, but you do have fun outside of school. But
Yes.
what do you do outside of school?
Yeah, so outside of school, I really like doing art, specifically graphic design. So I find that a lot of fun, and I've taken a few classes at school, and that's just helped me get better, and it's just something I enjoy.
Do we see marketing and advertising in your future?
I'm gonna go with no.
No, but it's a good
Yeah,
hobby, no doubt.
yeah.
All right, let's head out to Trinity and say hello to 2 fantastic coaches. Wow, you continue to do well on our show. You've done well last season and the season before, and once again, and we really appreciate you bringing such a strong team. And this is Mrs. Kerstetter. She is the Spanish teacher at Trinity, and now you're teaching AP Spanish as well, which is great. Do you have, all these players right here, do you have any in your class?
I actually do not. However, in our homerooms, students who start with me in homeroom 9th grade are with me all the way through to their senior year. And Natalie and Ethan actually are both in my homeroom.
So you meet in homeroom, and that's where you take attendance at Trinity or get the news and bulletins and stuff?
Yes.
That's what happens?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Every school has a different routine, how that's done. Well, let's say hello to Mr. Sansoni, he teaches chemistry. Now, we all know that kids say the darndest things, but I guess one student said something to you once that really stands out.
Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my team. And the girl who said something was Alex on our team. And she told me one weekend she was going to the Notre Dame game, so she wouldn't be there for the test on Friday. So I asked her when she came back, "Oh, how was the game? Tell me all about it." And instead, she told me all about the library at Notre Dame University and how you can go upstairs and there's all these rooms and students study and the books.
So she was visiting the school as a possible...
Yeah, she went to the game too, but it was all about the school.
schools,
And that's how you know you have a good Quiz Bowl member on your team.
That's a great
their-
story. All right. Well, Alex, I can see that she's sort of embarrassed off the screen right now for the story, but thanks for sharing. Okay, well, let's not embarrass anybody because we're going to now head into today's one-on-one rapid fire round where we pit our individual players against each other. Plus, it gives us a chance to talk to them and find out what's going on in their very busy lives. So first, let's say hello to Bo. This is Bo from Donegal, Bo Ditzler. You are a senior. It's great to have you here. And, you're a senior. Things are really coming to a close now. Donegal is going to be in the back door soon. What are your plans coming up?
Yeah, so I'm looking to become a forensic pathologist in the future, so there's a lot of schooling ahead of me, and many of the colleges I've applied to, I still have yet to hear back from, but I've heard back from Ithaca University, and Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yes, my reaction is that's a
Yeah.
fantastic school.
Yeah.
So you at least have something in your
Yeah.
back pocket, and then we'll go from there.
Yes.
Well, any school would be lucky to get a student like you after knowing you. Natalie Gauss, you're a junior. You did really well in that first round of play, and it's nice to have you back. Now, you are learning a lot of languages, and when you say a lot, besides Romance languages, are you expanding beyond that as well?
Yeah, I'm currently at school learning Chinese. I've also been learning Japanese and Ukrainian.
So when you say at school learning Chinese, is there an actual course at Trinity that's
Yes.
offered?
Our teacher, Mr. Fan, he is very enthusiastic about teaching Chinese, and it makes it a lot of fun and
bet. Well,
pretty easy.
I'm enthused to hear about it. Fantastic. Natalie and Bo, I hope you're enthused about these three questions as we put you two one-on-one. Founded in 1837 by a candle maker and a soap boiler, it's now one of Cincinnati's largest employers. What is this consumer goods company known for Pampers, Charmin, Gillette, and more than... Bo.
Johnson & Johnson?
Not Johnson & Johnson, no, sorry. And Natalie, and more than 60 other brands. Do you know? We stumped you on P&G, Procter & Gamble. If Congress submits a bill to the president less than 10 days before it adjourns, the president can veto it simply by refusing to sign it. What is this presidential power called? Bo?
Silent veto?
Not a silent one. Good guess, though. Natalie? We stumped you on pocket veto. And finally, in response to what he perceived as racial inequality, this NFL quarterback made world headlines by taking a knee during the national anthem. Natalie?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick is trying once again to return to the NFL. Good for you. 50 to 100. Let's meet our two captains. So first from Donegal, a pleasure to welcome back Aiden Hipsky. You are a senior. And I guess asking you the same question as you're preparing, and we're always so interested to learn what are students planning on doing. You are planning on going to college, I assume.
Yeah, I want to go to study wildlife biology. It's a pretty big part of my life is, being involved with nature, going on hikes, doing studies. I'm actually in AP Environmental Science right now at my high school. So, yeah, as far as college goes, I'm actually really excited to get into that more limited space of people that are only interested in those kinds of things.
Fantastic. And environmental science has so much to do with human health as well.
100%.
Thanks for sharing. Good luck to you, Ethan Brown Sr. And your family has done something that I think many families often think about, a foreign exchange student. I love this story.
Yeah, this year we're hosting a foreign exchange student. His name's Leo. He's from Italy. And it's been a very new experience for me as I'm an only child, so it's the first time I'm having a brother at home. So.
And are you in the same grade?
Yes.
How's his English?
Good, very good.
How's your Italian?
Not good.
All right, bene, molto bene. Aiden and Ethan, let's put you two one-on-one. In presidential elections, this state has the highest number of electoral votes. Which state is it? Ethan?
California.
California is correct. There's a lot of first words in history. See if you know this word. What was the first word spoken from the moon? Aiden.
One?
Nope, sorry. Ethan? Oh, it's a challenge, and when you hear it, you're going to know it. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed, so Houston would have been the correct answer. And finally, a potentially devastating UPS strike was diverted this summer of 2023. The company and the union agreed to a 5-year labor contract. What union represents UPS drivers? We stumped you on the Teamsters. 50 to 110. Let's meet our third players in today's competition. First from Donegal, a pleasure to welcome back Ryan Shepard. You are a senior, and again, the same question for you. We're senior. We're always curious about where seniors are headed off to. So, what are your plans after Donegal?
Yeah, so I'm planning to go on to college to study TESOL, which is teaching English to students of other languages. I'm also very interested in learning other languages, and I plan on going overseas to teach English to people who can't speak it and speak other languages.
But most importantly, you're going to be a teacher. Oh, fantastic. We need teachers, doctors, everything. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for everything. Alexandra Mayernick, you are a junior, did really well in that first round of play, and I understand you went to Notre Dame, but we'll talk about that another time. You're a great reader, as Mr. Sansone said, and books are really important to you, but you have one book that's really one of your favorites.
Yeah, I read The Hobbit in 6th grade, and then last year I read The Silmarillion, and it's been my favorite book that I've ever read. It's
So fantasies and stuff
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to stick with. Are you going to be a writer one day? Do you?
Maybe.
You never know. Alex, you're so, you know a lot about everything. Ryan, you do as well. Let's see what happens as we put you two one-on-one. FDR called it Shangri-La. Eisenhower renamed it for his grandson. What is this secluded presidential retreat in Maryland? Oh, we stumped you on Camp David. The headline, January 2024, Peregrine malfunctions. Peregrine was expected to reach its destination on February 23rd. Where was it headed? Alex?
Moon?
To the moon, yes. It's the lunar lander that burned over the Pacific on January 18th, 2024. And finally, painting is an art thousands of years old with dozens of artistic periods. In which period did Giotto, Duccio, Donatello, Botticelli, Da Vinci, and Raphael work? Alex?
Renaissance?
They were all in the Renaissance. Good for you. A strong lead right now for Trinity, 50 to 130. But we're going to pick up the pace now and play today's 60-second lightning round. So, Aiden, you have your work cut out for you, but you can do it with one of these three quizzes. We have turn of the century movies, perfectly scientific, and words and music.
I'll go words and music.
Words and music. There are a lot of words in the musical vocabulary, even for music without words. So for 10 points each, identify each of these musical terms. So Aiden, I take your answer as the team's answer. Bo and Ryan are ready to help you along. 60 seconds on the clock, which will begin after I finish reading the first question. Good luck, and here we go. The principal note in a composition or part of a piano.
Key.
Key is correct. The Italian word for drums, they're the drums in an orchestra.
Timpani.
Timpani, yes, the lowest male voice.
Bass.
Bass.
Bass, yes, for the Italian for above, it's the highest female voice.
Soprano.
Soprano.
Soprano is correct. Originally accompanied by the lyre, they're the words to a song.
The lyrics.
Lyrics.
Lyrics, yes, the cymbal raises a note half a step.
Sharp.
Sharp.
Sharp is correct. The Italian word for time, it's the rate in which
Tempo.
a music is paid.
Tempo.
Tempo, yes. The 5 horizontal lines and spaces between them.
Bars.
No, staff. The Italian word for song, it's a solo song in an opera.
Sonata.
Aria, the clarinet and saxophone belong to this group of instruments.
Woodwind.
Woodwinds, yes, a percussion instrument, or the Italian word for softly.
Piano. Or piano.
Piano.
Piano, yes, it's an interval of 8 diatonic tones.
Scale.
Octave, Italian for increasing, it's a gradual increase in volume. Crescendo, the Italian word for booklet, it's the text of an opera, it's libretto. So we had 9 correct, so 90 points came your way. Is this a break for you, Ethan? We'll find out shortly with turn of the century movies and perfectly scientific.
Perfectly scientific, please.
Perfectly scientific. To be perfectly honest, this quiz is all about science and mathematics, and all the answers begin with PER. So for 10 points each, identify these perfectly scientific terms. Ethan, I take your answer as the team's answer. We know Natalie and Alex are ready to help you along. 60 seconds on the clock, which will begin after I finish reading the first question. Good luck, and here we go. A line through a point P at right angles to line L.
Perpendicular.
Correct. Dmitry Mendeleev created the first one in 1869.
Periodic table.
Correct. H2O2 is hydrogen.
Peroxide.
Peroxide. It's a plant that grows for more than 2 years.
Perennial.
Perennial, yes. A ratio or fraction expresses a number over 100.
Percent.
Percent, yes. It's how your digestive system moves the food along.
Pass.
Peristalsis, the different groups into which members of a set can be arranged.
Pass.
Permutations, the constantly frozen ground of the Siberian tundra.
Permafrost.
That's correct. It's a motion that violates the first and second laws of thermodynamics forever.
Pass.
Perpetual motion, the point in the moon's orbit when it's closest to the Earth.
Perigee.
Perigee is correct. The point in the Earth's orbit when it's closest to the sun. Perihelion, it's another name for whooping cough.
Pertussis.
Pertussis is correct. The thin layers of tissue that cover the heart.
Periosteum.
Pericardium, inflammation of the lining of the abdomen, peritonitis, and that's 9 correct also. Oh, 8 correct. 8 correct, so 80 points came your way. 140 to 210. It's time now to reveal today's bonus Brain Buster category. During our break, our teams will wager 0 to 25 points based on their knowledge of restaurants. Oh, I like this category. Well, we'll see how our players do about restaurants. And of course, we have the all-important Final Frenzy when WGAL8 Brainbusters continues following these messages.
Watch all this season's episodes of WGAL8 Brainbusters anytime on WGAL.com. Our online home also includes our tournament schedule and a chance to learn more about the show and host Rich Rosen. Go to WGAL.com and click on Brainbusters.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back as we continue this competition between Donegal and Trinity. Now, Donegal faltered a little bit, but they can make up ground very quickly, beginning now with today's bonus Brainbuster. During our break, our teams wagered 0 to 25 points based on their knowledge of restaurants. We're going to head into the News 8 newsroom with Michael Fuller. He has today's question. Michael.
Thanks, Rich. Now here's your bonus Brainbuster. When it comes to restaurants, there are 5 criteria in its ratings: the quality of the produce, the mastery of the cooking, the blending of the flavors, the chef's personality evident in the experience, and how consistent the food is with multiple visits by inspectors. What is this noted restaurant guide with up to 3 stars for excellence first published in 1936? Again, when it comes to restaurants, there are 5 criteria in its ratings: the quality of the produce, the mastery of the cooking, the blending of the flavors, the chef's personality evident in the experience, and how consistent the food is with multiple visits by inspectors. What is this noted restaurant guide with up to 3 stars for excellence first published in 1936? Good luck with your answer. Now back to Studio B. Rich?
Michael, thank you very much. This is a great question. Hopefully you'll have the chance to dine at one of these highly rated restaurants. Aiden, it's up to you. Will you show us? And you wrote Michelin. Good for you. You are correct. 25 points added to your score. I think you wrote Michelin too, because I noticed, Alex, you were eager to give that answer. 10 points was added to your score. Look at that. We have 165 to 220. It's still anybody's game. Pick up those signaling buttons, because here comes today's final frenzy. This time we have 20-point questions. According to Einstein, it's caused by the curvature of space. It varies directly with mass and inversely with the square of distance. Ethan?
Gravity?
Gravity is correct. The St. Croix River forms the border between the Canadian province of New Brunswick and this U.S. state. What state is it, Natalie?
Michigan?
No, sorry, incorrect. Donegal, Ryan.
Maine.
Maine is correct. To make one, you need an active medium, an energy source, and 2 mirrors, one partially transparent. The result, light amplification by the simulated emission of radiation. What device is this? Ethan?
Laser?
It is a laser, yes. That's exactly what it is. In 1926, when the Encyclopedia Britannica needed an author for its article on wireless telegraphy, it chose this Italian physicist. Who was the appropriate choice? And that was Marconi, because wireless telegraphy is what we now call the radio. Charles II died childless in 1701, setting off a 13-year war between various claimants to the throne. What was that war called? Alex?
War of the Roses?
Not the War of the Roses. Nope, sorry. Any idea? Aiden?
100 Years' War?
No, it's the Queen Anne's War, the War of Spanish Succession. Separated from Africa by the Mozambique Channel, this island country calls itself, and Ryan?
Madagascar.
Madagascar is correct. One reason we dislike fractions is that they're so hard to add. For example, what is the sum of 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/4? We stumped you on 1 and 1/12 for 13 12s. Her second novel, Dread, A Tale of the Great Dismal Swamp, was published in 1856. Her first novel was the best-selling novel of the 1850s. Who was the little lady who started the Civil War?
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Harriet Beecher Stowe is correct. In 1814, a states' rights convention met in New England to call for succession. Alex?
Seneca Falls?
Oh, no, sorry. What Connecticut city gave its name to this convention? Brian?
Hartford.
Hartford, the Hartford Convention, yes. She was Apollo's twin sister and a goddess of the moon. Who was she? Brian again. That is correct again. He is the anhydride of sulfuric acid. In other words, when mixed with water, it will produce sulfuric acid. What is SO3? That's sulfur trioxide, derived from the name of one of Napoleon's admirers. It comes to mean fanatical attachment to a cause, especially masculine supremacy. What's the word? We stumped you on chauvinism. Napoleon's fan was Nicholas Chauvin, and that now takes us to the end of the round and to the end of the game. What a fantastic attempt by both teams, but it looks like we are going to see Trinity for the semifinals. Please don't go away. We'll be right back with some final words in just a moment.
Scorekeeping for WGAL8 Brainbusters, presented by Jennings College Consulting, where students discover the right college fit for the future. We'll return after this. Welcome back to WGAL8 Brainbusters, the Susquehanna Valley's longest-running high school quiz show. Once again, here's your host, Rich Rosen.
Well, a heartfelt congratulations to Trinity. Boy, they had an early lead, and they would not let go. Now, we're saying a fond farewell to Donegal. Thanks a lot for your spirited participation, and we really enjoyed it. Next time, we're going to be inviting the final two teams to decide who will end up in the semifinals. Will it be Ephrata or Cedar Crest? So we hope to have the pleasure of your company as well. Thanks for your continued support, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.